These are the Jamo S7-27F floor standing speakers. And if you're wondering why you can only see half of me on the screen, it's because these speakers are very short. It is very, I don't want to say misleading, but you really can't tell how short these speakers are in some of their photos. I mean, you can kind of search through and figure it out, but these have to be the shortest speakers that I've ever seen, especially at this price point. And they have a really cool angle because of it. They're angled upwards, as you guys can maybe tell, because of how short to the ground they are. So when you sit down, you're probably not going to be anywhere near ear level to this tweeter, so it has to fire upwards at you. So it's a really cool design. This is the blue color it comes in. You can get it in a gray. I am a big fan of different colored speakers, hence why I've had white speakers for the last, I don't know, 6 years, and then years before that I had mahogany. So I'm a big fan of a nice and different finish. I am also a big fan of magnetic grills, and this one has a cool little design to it, a little curvature to it because the speaker has a really nice curvature to it too. Then we have a couple different drivers here, tweeter, and then 2 different mid-range speakers. So this is rated down to in-room response about 32 or so hertz, which if that's the case, then that is very impressive for how small they are. Now, Jamo does say that it is room dependent, so your frequency extension will be different. I know I have some people in my comment section asking me when I review these to do some measurements, so I'll try to remember to do that. But 32 hertz in-room response is the best you're gonna get, but it can vary. And then on the back side here, I love what they did with the back side. So of course you have the port there at the very bottom, but the terminals down here are really neat. You don't really see this on any speakers, but the terminals aren't attached to the back side of the baffle. It's actually on the bottom, kind of like where the feet go. So that's a really cool touch. They are not 5-way, so you only can plug one positive and one negative to it, so you can't bi-amp these speakers. And speaking of bi-amping, these speakers here are 4 ohms, which is really surprising. They're really efficient, says Jamo, 90 dB sensitivity, but you can only run these at 4 ohms. So you're going to need to make sure that your receiver that you have can handle a 4 ohm load, or make sure you have an external amplifier that can power these with enough power. So let's talk about the power ratings too while we're talking about it. So again, this is the S7-27F. This is the bigger floor sitting speaker. They have a smaller version than this. This is a 2-way bass reflex design. So you guys saw the 2 drivers inside and then the tweeter on top. It is a 6.69 inch driver in there. So it gets down to about 32 hertz in-room response for a total of 107 dB. So it can play pretty loud. Now, the continuous power handling, so the RMS power is 120 watts. So you're gonna wanna make sure that your amplifier or your receiver can handle 120 watts at 4 ohms. Make sure your receiver can handle that kind of power. And then it can handle up to 250 watts at a given time. Not sustainable, but it can get up there, which is nice. And as far as how tall these are, they are 33.6 inches in height, 9 inches in width, and 15 inches in depth. So if you're looking for a really capable speaker that your wife and you can love, this is probably the one. They look aesthetically pleasing in my personal opinion, and they're the smallest tower speaker you're gonna be able to buy, minus maybe a Dayton Audio one, and keep the wife happy and still have a nice home theater sound, or just a 2-channel stereo, which we'll test in my review. And the weight is super light as well. They're just under 40 pounds, so easy to move, easy to maneuver. You can get them in a house after they get delivered. They're super flexible. And like I said, they come in a blue and a gray, and they do have metal spikes that you can put underneath them as well. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I actually have pretty high expectations for these speakers, mainly because I've heard a lot of Jamo speakers before. Bookshelves, small bookshelves, satellites, and other floor standing speakers and subwoofers. And I've always been impressed about what you can get for the money when it comes to the Jamo sound, and they look really good. I wish more manufacturers were brave enough to come out with colors other than black or white. And so seeing gray and blue, and then even Klipsch, which is the brother of this brand here, Klipsch owns Jamo. Klipsch usually just makes, black speakers, and sometimes they have like a walnut finish and maybe a cherry. But it's nice to see a gray and an off-white, and you know, these really bold, not futuristic colors, but like furniture pieces. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be what everybody sees when they walk into your room, whether that's your living room, your basement, or whatever. So it's nice to see some decorative colors like this to complement maybe an abstract kind of environment you're in. I love the color personally. So I like that first and foremost. But again, like I was saying, the sound you get from Jamo products for the price usually exceed how much you spent. And I have the same expectation out of these. I think these are like $749 or just under or right about $750. So I'm expecting these to sound pretty good. This is the most expensive Jamo speaker I think Jamo has ever sold, and this will be the most expensive one that I've heard from them. So I have some really high expectations for these. So in a later review, I will spend a couple more weeks with these, and I will put them in my home theater and actually listen to them and give you guys my honest, true opinion on these. Jamo did not send them out, so I'm not entitled to say anything, and I wouldn't be even if they did send it out to me. So I will give you my honest truth about them. I feel like I'm going to like them because I haven't heard anything from them that I don't like. So I have some really high expectations for these things. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys want to see in the review. I know one person said they want to see measurements, so I'll try to do that. What else do you guys want to see in the review video when I do review them? Let me know that down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already, and we will see you in the review. KP Sky out. Peace.